How much death, destruction, and illegal activity will ensue when a depressed insurance agent meets the rebellious macho man of his dreams? This is every single crime committed in Fight Club. This is Jack. Well, the narrator, or the protagonist, but we're gonna call him Jack. He's become so addicted to filling the existential void inside of him with materialistic possessions that he's having trouble sleeping at night. But on the recommendation of his doctor, he pretends to be a cancer patient for a meeting, and now he's sleeping like a baby. The cry sesh works so well that he starts pretending to have all sorts of health problems. Turns out it's not the most original idea in the world though, as Jack quickly spots a copycat when Marla Singer walks in the room. Marla Singer, the through line of earnestness across the story of satire. Her presence is ruining his good sleep, so after she gives us our first crime by showing Jack how she steals her wardrobe, they're quickly able to come to a deal and divide the support groups up between them. Next, Jack goes on some business trips. He explains to his seat buddy how his job works, which sounds a lot like a crime, but is unfortunately a very legal and common business practice. Lying in support groups, lying to get drugs from his doctor, Jack's racking up to immortalities, but no crimes just yet. She isn't too impressed, but Jack hits it off with his next seat partner even more. This is manic pixie dream bro Tyler Durden, and he and Jack have the exact same suitcase. Tyler doesn't give a crap about anything, so as soon as they land, he steals this guy's car. Back on the plane, Tyler impresses Jack with some of his fun facts.
Did you know if you mixed equal parts of gasoline and frozen orange juice concentrate, you can make napalm?
So when Jack's apartment randomly burns down, he calls Tyler up and asks if they can hang. They have a great little chat about modern consumerism.
Things you own end up owning you.
Then Jack shows us some of the shenanigans Tyler gets up to, like splicing pornography in the family films and pissing in people's food. Tyler asks Jack if he's ever been in a fight, and the pair head outside to share some blows. I would count this as assault, but since these two completely different people mutually agreed to do this, I'm not going to add anything. Tyler lets Jack come back to his place, where they both get to toss their beer bottles into the road because they're too freaking cool to care. However, only Tyler's actually lands on public property, so only his counts as littering. He shows Jack around his 3-story man cave and cooks him some breakfast. The bro life. Then, they're quickly back to their new favorite activity. But again, two different dudes agreeing to do this, so no laws being broken here. Then, they get some strangers to offer up their faces, but again, they're consenting to this. What wasn't consented to though, are the windows Tyler and Jack break while they're shooting golf balls in the neighborhood afterwards. They discuss their mutual lack of positive male role models.
We're a generation of men raised by women. I'm wondering if another woman is really the answer we need.
And quickly find a lot of others that can relate. Just like that, they have a fight club, let's go! Then, Jack asks the pinnacle of 90s male physique a pretty ironic question.
That what a man looks like?
Yeah. You're talking to the pioneer of that exact type of man. There's always been two roads of analysis when it comes to this movie, but it's moments like these where it can't help but be obvious about its ironic intentions. These dudes are not rebellious heroes. They're a cult of social outcasts so desperate for a strong male influence that they can only find community through this. Back at the house, Jack gets news that the fire at his condo was caused by Freon and homemade dynamite. Unfortunately, Jack is their number one suspect, but Tyler doesn't care. Tyler wants to
make soap.
So that sends them on their next adventure of breaking into a liposuction clinic and stealing the leftover fat. He gives Jack a quick chemistry lecture on how to use their newfound stolen goods, then transitions into the lab portion of the course.
You'll hurt more than you've ever been burned, and you will have a scar. What are you doing?
Who needs therapy when you have Tyler? Jack takes his new free spirit to work and threatens to shoot up the office. Free speech is pretty dicey here, but I'm going to go ahead and call this an illegal criminal threat because of how specific and realistic it is. On his way home, he catches up with Bob. Oh, now he's punching Bob. It's okay, they're still buddies. Back at Fight Club, the owner of the bar shows up to explain why I haven't counted the underground fighting ring itself as a crime.
How much money's you getting for this?
There is no money.
Really?
Free to all.
Ain't that something?
It is, actually.
Sounds perfectly legal to me. Tyler assigns all of the members of the club some homework. Go out and start a fight with a total stranger. This causes a rapid fire of assaults to occur.
Hey, watch out!
For Jack, his homework is to extort his boss at work to continue getting paid without having to go to work. At the next fight club, Tyler hands out even more homework assignments, which quickly add to the list of crimes. Destroying rooftops, defacing a billboard, ruining dozens of VHS tapes, the worst crime they commit. Flipping exit gates around to damage vehicles, smashing the fronts of cars, destroying a car's tires, feeding pigeons so they'll shit all over a BMW dealership, switching airline pamphlets out to ones depicting chaos, and exploding a bunch of Apple computers. Whew, that was a lot. Luckily, we have a little bit of a break now. Oh, no, Tyler's sticking a gun to the back of the store clerk's head. It was unloaded, but doesn't really make it any more legal. Then we get a shot that perfectly encapsulates everything I love about this movie. Tyler spews his generationally tormented life lessons directly to the camera, while David Fincher goes God mode with an amazing wall-breaking footage effect. I love the way that Chuck Palahniuk, the original writer of the Fight Club novel, was able to take Tyler and basically turn him into a vessel of every pissed-off point of view that he had. Instead of having to find some intricate way to implant these rants on the world that were floating around in his head for so many years, he created a character that could do it for him. And it works. Tyler's entire persona is, let me tell you how the world really works. He doesn't just completely hypnotize Jack, but the audience as well. But then Palahniuk was able to take that character and supplant him into a story that shows that he's clearly not advocating for these ideas. Yeah, the world is unfair, but walking around pissed off and angry about it all the time can only lead you down one road, and the end of that road is a terrifying one. Back at the bro pad, Jack has a conversation with Marla where we get a nice look at the new lip scar on the top of his hand. A beautiful symbol that I think perfectly sums up the moral of this movie, but I'll get to that later.
I mean, why does a weaker person need to latch on to a strong person? What is that?
Hey, no spoiling my end of video monologue. Another person trying to steal my job is Tyler.
So we're trespassing, and I will have to call the police.
Stop that, and no, that does not count. Tyler quickly has his own Project Mayhem cult formed inside the house, and they're all gathered around watching their latest act of arson on the television. Also, I love that Jared Leto is the only one that didn't have to shave his head. You can't lose that beautiful bleach job. Next, Project Mayhem takes themselves to a high-end gathering to commit assault with a deadly weapon on this guy to make him leave them alone. After the successful trip, Tyler shows Angelface some love, which Jack doesn't seem to mind. Oh no, looks like he definitely minds. He minds really hard. Now while Jack is obviously just beating an unconscious man nearly to death here, it's still not going to count as a crime, because deep down, we know Angelface appreciates it. Tyler isn't as appreciative of Jack's meltdown though, so after procuring a stolen vehicle from a Project Mayhem member, he deliberately speeds them into oncoming traffic and flips the car. A true near-life experience. Back at home base, two Project Mayhem members come storming in to tell tale of their most recent criminal outing, which involved destroying a piece of corporate art, demolishing a franchise coffee bar that definitely isn't Starbucks, and getting killed by the police.
Running around in ski masks trying to blow things up? What did you think was gonna happen?
Exactly. And that's why, from here on out, all of Project Mayhem's destruction is also going to be labeled as terrorism.
In Project Mayhem, we have no names.
Yeah. We're officially at terrorism. Jack takes a tour around the world, has a talk with Marla, then quickly comes to a haunting conclusion.
Because we're the same person.
What? You're kidding me, holy crap! I love how in the flashbacks we're supposed to believe that Jack gives off the same charisma as Tyler. I'm sorry, but these dudes would not have followed this man. It really puts into perspective just how silly this all looks without someone like Brad Pitt and his spiky hair at the helm. In an effort to stop Tyler's plans, Jack turns himself in, but he quickly realizes that Project Mayhem just runs too deep. Luckily, he's able to snag a gun and get himself out, which definitely isn't a crime considering they were about to cut his balls off. However, running into traffic and pointing that gun at random cars definitely is a crime. Now Jack runs and runs and runs and runs, then Tyler shows back up. Jack shoots at him, but just ends up breaking the glass instead. After running into the garage, he discovers a van full of explosives set to go off in 25 minutes.
You know there are 10 other bombs in 10 other buildings.
Well, that quickly multiplies the crime rate.
We're not killing anyone, man. We're setting them free.
Yeah, tell it to the judge, Tyler. Tyler beats the crap out of Jack. Okay, the twist has been revealed. Jack beats the crap out of himself before winding up at the top of a skyscraper with a gun in his mouth. Now Tyler knows there isn't a party without Marla, so a couple of Project Mayhem goons drag her off the bus she was trying to get out of town on. Jack discovers that his only way out is by killing Tyler, so he goes and does just that. The goons finally get Marla to the top floor, and Jack assures her that everything's all good.
Everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah, no, they're not. The pair embrace hands as the city crumbles around them. This final shot is a perfect thematic finale to this movie. Fight Club is about a man refusing to fall in love because he doesn't see himself as one capable of being loved. He's a young male in a shitty job, with a shitty apartment, living a shitty life that he desperately wants out of, but he's too afraid of death to take any risk. Who is he to love someone? And who is he to be loved by another person? His father certainly didn't love him. He wants to break the system, not settle into it like every other person. So when he meets Marla and he feels that immediate attraction to her, it sends him into a crisis. So he blows up his condo, destroys everything he ever owned, and he creates Tyler, the macho masculine, zero fucks giving sexy man that doesn't attach himself to anything. Not to any people, and certainly not to any societal rule. The scar on his hand is the one thing Tyler permanently marks him with. Even after he kills Tyler, he's still left with his lips, his kiss, his own kiss, of which he could only achieve through pain. What started as a long-sought sign of love from a male role model transforms into that of self-acceptance. He's finally come into accepting who he is and the world he lives in. The only chance at change is through chaos, but he decides after a long journey that he doesn't want destruction. He wants love. Unfortunately, one doesn't come without the other. Now let's look at the overall numbers of every crime that we found in Fight Club. For our single case crimes, we had a single count of littering, theft, obscenity, battery, brandishing, burglary, criminal threat, reckless driving, reckless endangerment, evasion, discharge of a firearm, and kidnapping. Stepping it up, we had 2 counts of grand theft, 2 counts of extortion, 2 counts of arson, and 2 counts of breaking and entering. Now for our big guys. We had 4 counts of vandalism, 5 counts of assault, 21 counts of destruction of property, 11 counts of manufacturing illegal explosives, and 11 counts of terrorism. That gives us a total of 72 crimes that we physically see committed in the movie Fight Club. A staggering number for a staggering film. Thank you so much for watching.